I've decided I need an arch nemesis, and I think you do too. Welcome back to the Idea Supply Chain, where we take a look at where ideas come from and what makes those ideas valuable. In today's video, I wanted to share my new arch nemesis. So, this spawned from a discussion I was having on Twitter with a coach I've been working with, and we were just kind of talking back and forth. He is restarting a new Twitter account to be really more focused on the audience that he's trying to serve. And in doing so, he's been talking a lot about, how to do kind of predictable marketing, right? And talking to the people that you're aiming to reach. And obviously, if you've listened to any of my videos, this is something I've struggled a lot with. I have a lot of different ideas. I want to talk to a lot of different audiences. But as he was kind of talking through his process, I said that I had been spending some time this weekend um, looking for some new ideas in places that I haven't spent a lot of time. And in one of those, I was looking at the things I've been hiding from. So, I think it's really easy for us to get caught up in doing things that let us avoid certain aspects of life. And I noticed that I tend to get caught up in this. Uh, in terms of doing a lot of like building constantly and not necessarily marketing, talking to people, things like that, right? And so I'm kind of looking in there. And then I've also been looking at stuff I've been doing in the past. I've been revisiting old blog posts and, even old blog sites because I've got a few of them that are still alive. They've got a few different blog posts here and there. Um, and I've been trying to pretty much connect the dots over longer periods of time. One of the things that I tend to do is get caught up in certain ideas like in the here and now. And I haven't done a good job of drawing, points or drawing lines between multiple points in my history. And so I've been going back there. Um, but then I said the other area I've been looking at is where I'm angry. And this was kind of an interesting revelation to me because I was like, there are a bunch of things that I'm angry at in the world. And a lot of it comes down to bullshit. I'm tired of all the bullshit that people have to put up with in order to just survive. And I'm saying this as someone who is experiencing a lot of bullshit right now in my own personal life that I've got to deal with. And it's just fucking driving me crazy. And he's like, oh, that's actually a really interesting point about the things that make you angry. And went back and forth a little bit. He's like, yeah, personally, I've picked my enemy as employment. He's really wanting to help people embrace their entrepreneurial side. He is very much against the concept of working for other people. He wants to create kind of, an army of millions of solopreneurs, people who are able to work for themselves, have the ability to fire clients that just aren't a good fit. Um, and so, he's doing this as part of his like predictable marketing and building a rock solid pipeline program, right? So you constantly have a flow of inbound interest into your business, and that's been super helpful. But when he said something about having an enemy, his enemy is employment, I was like, wow. Because then he was like, who's your enemy? And I'm like, I don't know. Let me think about it. And so as I was going on, I was like, I kind of like the idea of being an enemy of like having employment as my enemy too. I do believe that we need more entrepreneurs in the world. Um, and I'm also like angry at the stuff that people have to go through to even like get a job. It is so ridiculously difficult right now. And companies are getting rid of people because, the AI revolution is coming and we're just going to use that as an excuse to cut payroll. And pretty much there's just all this stuff happening. So, okay, I'm angry about that. I'm angry at the algorithms that don't let creators build sustainable businesses, instead, kind of forcing people into like, forcing creators into burning themselves out and making content constantly just to stay on top of the flywheel and, make sure that you're constantly pumping stuff out because that's important. Um, I'm pissed off at education. I think the education system is fucking terrible. It's a goddamn ripoff at this point, with, you know, colleges and universities charging what they do, and not really creating the economic incentives that should be in place when, you know, they're expecting people to put out this much money. And I can go on. There were a few others, but there was a common thread that I was able to draw between all of those things, and it was just all the bullshit that we have to deal with. And when I asked my good friend Claude what a good single word was for all of the bullshit that we constantly have to put up with, Claude said, "Hey, that's drivel." Drivel. So you know what? Fucking drivel is my nemesis right now. I am tired of the drivel. And so I'm making it my mission to use the power of AI, the power of automation, and the power of entrepreneurship to bring an end to fucking drivel. I think we are constantly being forced into dealing with all sorts of drivel constantly. And it's because of the employment systems that say, hey, you work for us full time now. And that means for 40 hours a week plus, you better be working. You got to have something to do. You can't just sit there because that is inefficient. Fuck you. You don't know what efficiency is. Stop talking. You're full of drivel. You're putting drivel on other people. Stop it. You suck. You know, I see drivel coming from teachers. Hey, here's a bunch of busy work. Why aren't you paying attention to the shit that doesn't matter? Pay attention to the boring stuff. No, fuck the boring stuff. It's all drivel. I want to see a world in which we're able to follow our passions and we're able to do so successfully. And I believe this comes in through the implementation of abundant systems, because abundant systems don't reward drivel, they reward meaningful work. And I was reading a paper this past weekend about abolishing work completely. And the author argues that we need to get rid of this concept of work entirely and replace it with play, because play is something that is valuable for the sake of doing it. It is self-directed. I play because I choose to play. If somebody else tells me to play, it becomes work. No more of that. And so I actually had a discussion with my coach as to that article too, because I was like, hey, check this out. I think you're in line. He's like, I can't call it play. He's like, that just feels wrong to me. I agree with the concept, but we're going to call it meaningful work, and as far as I'm concerned. And I think that's valid. It doesn't actually matter. The words are the words. They can be moved around. The concepts at the core are what matter. And it's about doing something meaningful with our lives. It's about using our energy on shit that matters, saying fuck all the shit that doesn't, and having more time to actually live our lives. And so with all that said, I'm going to repeat it. Fuck drivel. We're going to end it. We're going to get rid of it. And we're going to focus on doing shit that matters. Call it play. Call it meaningful work. Call it whatever you want. But we're going to stop doing the bullshit. And we're going to continue doing shit that actually fucking matters. That's it for today. Go get yourself a Nemesis. Fires you up, gives you a bunch of motivation to pull from. Highly recommend it. I'm feeling really good about it. So I hope you are too. Go find your Nemesis. Declare war on him. Do what you got to do. Anyway, that's it for today. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you in the next video.